what's going on, everybody? Welcome. We are the Black Movie Fans, and we are here today to talk about the season finale, the last episode of Invincible. I'm joined by my brothers. I'm joined by Joe, and we got Devon, aka Devin, and we're here to get into it, man. I mean, this was a huge episode. Man, there's so much things to say, and I know there's a lot of emotions and everything about this. So, let's just go right into it. Joe, what are your thoughts? Your initial thoughts?
My initial thought is, honestly, as much as I love Superman or Superman types, I wouldn't want them defending my city, man. if they turn like Omniman, then we're screwed. We're screwed. Yeah. No, it's honestly, it was a lot. Very emotional. Very I felt myself on the edge of my seat throughout the entire episode, even during the somber moments, because I was afraid. Okay, you know what? Mark and Cecil or Mark and Debbie are having this moment, but what if Omni-Man pops back up again and starts kicking and starts tearing up bodies? You know what I mean? I was just that shaken by this episode, and once again, another well done, well animated episode of Invincible.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was definitely getting a lot of even some of the fight scenes between him, Omni-Man, and Invincible. I got a lot of Man of Steel vibes, as far as the destruction and the hard hitting fight scenes. Those are kind of my thoughts on that.
Okay. Devin, initial thoughts, man.
Wow. This blew me away, man. This has to be, to me, it might have to be my favorite animated episode of all time. I think it's just really? it knocked away Attack on Titan season 1, where I was just honestly, I was convinced to watch that episode, and I was like, all right, and at the end I was just like, and this one was just this one was honestly, man, I wouldn't recommend this to any 50 or 60-year-old to watch this. They might just die. They might get a heart attack right away, because I felt myself just literally just touching my heart a couple of times. What that? I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm just this is too much. When are we gonna get a break? And it was it was just it seemed so. I love the part. It seems so realistic. What would actually happen? The destruction. They showed the actual death. This is what really would happen. Don't cut the scene. Actually show the stuff.
Yeah.
And that was just that was it was a lot, but it was just it was so good, man. Yeah. Honestly, it was so good. But at the end of it, I was just it was so much that at the end of the episode, I was like, yo, I need a couple of months break. I'm glad it was a finale, because I'm just I was just how could you top this next week? You can't. I don't even want it, But overall, it was just great. It was just great.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat. So the episode starts out with, there's just a scene of kind of a field. It's kind of close up. You can see the foreground and the background, and it's just the grass.
Little Superman vibes, huh?
And then you can start to see the sprinkling of some red stuff on the grass, and then all of a sudden the immortal, his body drops down and right off the bat, it's just wow, okay, this is where we're at. And it was just such a moment. There was a lot of dialogue right off the bat, because obviously he's telling him listen, we need to talk. And the episode's titled where I really come from. And we get the whole story of this is the real deal, because in the beginning we were obviously told oh, hey, I come from this planet, we're ambassadors, and we just do good for the universe. And of course it turned out to be something completely different. But yeah, definitely the just the battle that takes place between Mark and Omni-Man, it's wow, as you said, Devin, just kind of not just showing us the fight that's taking place, but showing us the effects of it. And for me, this episode gave me even more stronger vibes than episode 1. When we got that shock moment at the end, but this was for like a good chunk of the episode. Like the moment that's like now etched in my brain and will never leave me as I sleep at night is the train scene.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my god.
oh my,
that's like probably the best ever action. I don't even know what to call it, bro. It was horrific, but it was just like, yeah, that's etched in for real.
Yeah, like just what a sequence of like, you know, and like just his character just becoming like so like he does not care. He's so like, man, well, I don't even know what the like I'm at a loss for words of like what do you call that?
It was super, I don't know, man. He just lacked so much empathy.
Yeah.
To the point where it was just like, okay, this person died, that person dies, it's whatever. I think the scare. I think one of the most saddest things, the most saddest scenes for me really was Invincible trying to stop that building from collapsing.
That's crazy.
And then you having the mom and her daughter in there, and I'm like, come on, I hope he saves them. I hope he saves them.
I know. I was like, as soon as
edge of the seat.
As soon as you seen that, you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Like you can't do this. You
can't. No. And then right afterwards, Omni-Man's like, yeah, see, they're useless. Why do you care for these people? We can take the
writing was crazy. The writing was so crazy. Like the stuff that he was saying, I was like, you can't like say those things, man. You know, I know you think those, but you can't say all of those things. Like he had no filter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was that? What's a Homelander like 10.0, yo?
That's it. He's Homelander. I think he's like Homelander dialed up by 10.
Yeah, this was just maxed out, man. Like seriously.
It's kind of like it's Homelander with no issues, like no mommy issues, no like issues, like talking like it's like Omni-Man with like I don't know, merged with like with the mind of Lex Luthor. Like he knows his mission.
It's like Homelander has no goal. He's just out there. He's just like, okay, you know, I want people to like me. I have these powers, but obviously all the childhood trauma has led me to like have this mindset. Yeah. But Omni-Man is like, I have a goal. And I'm loyal and nobody's in my way and I'm evil. You know what I mean? It's like when we seen him go to that planet and literally just destroy everything, we should have known. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like we should have known that this is him when he's mad. And I don't even know how mad he was. You know what I mean?
Even the way he would react to like Debbie disagreeing with him in certain instances, you know there's something wrong with this dude.
Yeah. And that's the sprinkles that they gave us, you know? You know, we knew he was a bit. We just they did it so good, man. Because they just had us speculating the whole time, right? Yeah. But I like going back to like the first scene. Why it was so emotional, like comparing it to the episode 1, was that we knew they introduced the Guardians of the Globe, and we knew that they were superheroes, but we didn't get that much time with them, you know? Yeah. This is episode 8 where we love Mark and we love to hate Omni-Man type of thing, you know? So it's like we have so much emotional connection, and seeing Mark like, Dad, like he's fighting him, but he's not really fighting him. He's just like, who's controlling you? Like, you know what I mean? Like what a real son would do with his dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you wouldn't just try to kill him. You would just be like, I love you. Something's wrong with you. Something's obviously wrong with you. And that in itself was just like, I'm watching. I'm just like, it was crazy.
It was really good. Like it just added that realism to it. Like you felt it. You know, a question I have for you guys is that, you know, up until this point, like where were you? Like, you know, were you like kind of like in the mindset of Debbie, like trying to hold on that, like, you know, there has to be some kind of good reason that, you know, why he's doing this? Or were you just like flat out like, yeah, no, he's just straight up evil?
The second one. He's just straight up evil. Even like, you think about all the stories that he would tell about his home planet and like a lot of the cover-ups, you're like, yo, this guy is like straight there. He's up to no good. And it doesn't help too that, you know, that there have been other spoilers because people have read the comic book and told me.
Like for me, I think I had a feeling that he was an unreliable narrator. You know what I mean? Him telling us at the beginning of how his planet was, and then seeing all these like quirks with him, and just like these little sprinkles of evil. I was like, I don't believe that story. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, you know. But I was like, there's something up, you know. So I think some of my theories panned out, you know, but some of them were off too, you know. In terms of like me thinking, I guess I wasn't with Debbie because I knew it was going to be evil. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not like I want Omni-Man to die. I want to keep this Thanos around as long as we can. You know what I mean? But I don't want him to destroy the Earth. You know what I mean? So it's like it was just like it was a weird like in between vibe. You know?
Yeah. So like I guess I'm the kind of person that's always trying to see the good in people. I was on the side of Debbie, like, you know, okay, like maybe there is a good reason for this, but
So Greg, what do you think? Did you have any guesses? Like, what do you think his reason would have been? I think last week when we talked about it, you weren't so sure, right?
Yeah. I didn't know, like I couldn't formulate anything, and like, even though like majority of everything would say that, you know, this guy's just straight up evil, like I was hoping that maybe there was something behind the scenes that, you know, no one knew about that was coming, that, you know, for whatever reason he was trying to prepare for. But of course, in the end, it turned out that he was just flat out evil.
Yeah. No, because I knew that I had that inkling that he wants to be the only superhero on this planet. It wasn't exactly like that, but he wanted to have the power. He didn't want the planet to grow too strong where, you know, he couldn't like bring them into his empire, right? Yeah. But
And it was so I guess one of the things I wanted to just touch on, and Joe, you mentioned it in the beginning, was just the animation. Like every talk we have about this show, like the animation just continues to just be amazing. And for me, the moments that always get me are flight. Like flight is like when they show flight, it's like, wow, like it's like I feel like I'm there. Like I'm you know, if they're showing that character, like I'm flying with them, and it like just looks so amazing. Like, and I think there was one point where I think Omni-Man had grabbed Mark and was like just like, I think either had him by the neck or by the head, and was like dragging him through the sky, and like as they went through the clouds and stuff, and it was just like all that stuff just looked like just little details, but it just, the effect is just like so amazing.
It gave me some Mighty Mouse vibes from back in the day when they're like in the clouds and he's like hitting him one way, catching him, boom, like playing baseball or tennis with him. It gave me these Mighty Mouse vibes, you know?
Oh man, I think another awesome thing about the show is the backdrops, the layouts, amazing layouts, amazing backgrounds. Being an illustrator, you know, I admire a lot of that stuff. You know, what was another? I'm trying to remember another cool scene too. The one where they're on the mountainside. That was a pretty gripping scene too.
Oh yeah,
where the I think that was a callback. Yeah. I think that was a callback because some other previous episode, they were there. I don't know if it's like when they were throwing the baseball and was going around the earth. I can't remember exactly, but
I think it was when they oh man, where were they going?
They went to Mount Everest.
Yes, and then that climber came up and was like, "Oh, like who are you guys?" Yeah.
It's a good call. It's a wicked callback, and just, you know, seeing Omni-Man wail on Mark.
Yeah, that was like, that's what I wanted to touch on next. Like, I was just like, man, like, what were you guys thinking in that moment? Like, I was like, are we gonna get like some kind of like, I always reference this, some kind of Dragon Ball Z moment where like he just loses it and like he just goes to the next level? Because it was like
that. Who really thought that out of you two guys?
I was hoping for it, but like it would have been cliche. So, you know,
and it would have been
in the end, I'm glad they didn't do it, because it would have just been very cliche. But like I was just like, what's the solution here? Like, what's either
how do you stop this guy?
Yeah, exactly. How do you stop him? Like either Mark's gonna die or something's gonna intervene and kill Omni-Man. Like that's the only thing I'm seeing right now.
my nephew had the theory that as you get beat up, the stronger you get. You know, and he kind of pointed out different times to me throughout the series where he would get beat up so much and then he would go like sonic boom, sonic wave or something like that. You know, so I was like, I was a bit optimistic. I was like thinking maybe that's gonna happen, but I was like, guy, the way how they showed the power, the difference in power levels was like, there's no way he could, like, he needs years to catch up to this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, I knew that there's no way he could win. It's just, does he feel sad for him? I don't know, man. It was crazy. But yo, the way how they show like the sound effects of like when he punched him in his chest, like I was like, yo, how did his hand not come out the other side? I'm like, okay, maybe there's something with their skin. Because I'm just like, yo, the thumbs that he was giving him, man, was crazy.
But it's weird. Though. It's like, okay, he couldn't do that to Mark. But he did that to the Immortal. But isn't the Immortal supposed to be near invulnerable?
Well, I guess like, and again, we haven't really gotten the backstory on the Immortal. Like he seems to, I guess, have a body of a regular person in the sense of like, I guess it being like the density of it because he's been cut, he's been punched, got his head cut off, like no problem.
If you can put him back together, then he's immortal. That's what I'm getting. I feel like literally like the skin of Mark is obviously viltrumite, right? So it's like Omniman, you know what I mean? I don't think they're like it's immortal.
Yeah, but they're still susceptible to like getting hurt, right? Because remember, Omni-Man got beat up in the like when he took on the Guardians of the Globe, he still sustained like some at least physical damage to his body. He had bruises and everything. And we've seen Mark as well too. Like, I think, sorry if I say the name wrong, is it Battle Beast? What is that?
Yeah. Battle
Beast, yeah.
Yeah, he wrecked, absolutely wrecked Mark. Like, and he was bleeding and whatever, so he can get damage, but can they actually pierce him? That's the honestly, the major question.
The power level, not the power levels. They're actually their body and how could they die? That is confusing to me because at times Omni-Man looks like, I'm just like, yo, this guy's stronger than Superman. Like Superman, at least Superman has kryptonite. Like this guy has nothing. You know what I'm saying? And even when he was fighting, episode 1, when he was fighting the Guardians of the Globe, I don't know if he really got beat up that much. You know what I'm saying? Like I know there's a couple of times when that guy wrapped around him and then they would wail on him a little bit. But really, I felt like he just, at the end of it, when he killed everybody and he just fell down, I felt it was just out of like, he was just tired. You know what I mean? Not as much physical damage to him,
Wore him out.
Definitely he was exhausted and he just had bruising. He wasn't like, broken bones and whatever, but they did like show, I think when he went to the hospital or something like that, like there was a point where you could see like, he had bruising on his chest, his face, like, so, not major damage. Like for him, it was like a little scuffle, but like
when what's called again, when they did the laser beam or the nuclear bomb on him and he went down for like 3 seconds and came back up and all the different things that they did to him, it was just like, Todd, what did Cecil say? It's a $400 million nosebleed.
And it's destroyed in an instant.
And the first time when it got him, the second time when they tried to do it again, he just was just like, I'm flying straight through this now,
Yeah, it was like they caught him off guard the first time, right? So that's why it like actually, just hit him down, knocked him down a little. But the second time you just went right through it and just like, no, just.
Do you think he knew what that was before? Because he was just like when he felt it coming, he was just like, Seesaw, don't. What did he say? Seesaw. He said a sentence. He said a phrase like,
a liner.
Why you don't do this, or I can't believe you're gonna do this, or something like that. Like it's like he actually knew about it, and he was just like, if you do this, you're really gonna get me mad, type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, crazy, man. So then we get the I feel like the battle was long. Like wow,
it was just
like
the majority of the episode.
Yeah, the battle was just taking it all over the place, and all the while, like lots of dialogue about what's important, and saying that these humans are meaningless and whatever. And then we get like the huge emotional moment when he finally like has Mark, and he could literally just give him that final blow and take him out. And he's just he pulls back for a moment. He has that memory of Mark playing baseball, and then
call back again, right?
Yeah, he's playing baseball, but then he's like, why are you like? He gets upset because he remembered that memory, and he's just like, why are you like? Why do you want to save these people? There'll be nothing left. You're gonna live for hundreds or thousands of years. What will there be? Like, what will you have at the end of it? And he's like, I'll have you. It's just like, God, my heart.
Yo, what was also crazy about like just the fight was that they always would show like just random like civilians, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you would see the reactions, like when they started doing like the montage of like his friends, and like he's watching on the phone, and he's getting all scared, and then Amber's like in her bed, like curled off, watch, like you're seeing how everybody's reacting to this, and that's getting you also like in the moment, right?
Yeah,
it was just crazy, man.
Yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
There's another thing too, right? Having Amber kind of come back with that.
How'd you guys feel about that? How'd you feel about that?
You know what? It's good that she did that 180 and was like, okay, you know what? I could have lost this person. Let me go to him. Let me go to that.
Mark should have played some hard to get right there.
Yeah.
He's just like too happy, like.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was just her, she realized in that moment, she realized what's important. That's what happened. And whether he took her back or not, like he took her back, so I'm okay with it. I'm all for it. Sometimes people need a little dose of reality to realize what's important, right? So that's all good. But the question now is that so after that confrontation, Mark says that liner, I'd have you, and just shows that and he finally brought out the emotion in Omniman. Like, I don't think we've ever seen, throughout this whole season, we've never seen any real emotion from Omniman. And like, this was that moment where, he went from being this like just destroyer of worlds to like having that moment, and then, just takes off and he's gone. So, and a nice little touch moment where the tear gets like trapped in space and it's just there. But man, what do we think has happened now? Like, where has Omniman gone?
Well, Joe, did you read the comics?
I'm starting to read it right now. I have a feeling he goes back to Viltrumite.
Yo, I'm torn because I'm like I remember when Attack on Titan, when I finished this first or second season, I couldn't wait. Like, I just started reading the manga, and I just like pretty much almost finished it, and then I was like, and then when the show came out and it was like I knew certain things were gonna happen, I was like, man, like I shouldn't have done that. So this one, I'm like, I want to read them so bad because I know it's like 14 years of comics, and we only did like a year of it. But at the same time, I'm like, I love how I felt watching these episodes. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, man, I think I'm gonna hold off. So I mean, I guess my theories are just gonna be all out there. But I'm thinking that I don't know if he's gonna go back to Viltrumite, because I feel really that there's gonna be repercussions for him leaving his post. And I don't know what they're gonna do to him, or obviously, I feel like they're gonna find out that he left his post, whatever the reasons are, blah blah blah, and then they might come to Earth. That scares the hell out of me. Like having two of them there or three of them there, or like that are worse than him. That'd be messed up. That's crazy. Like, you can't, like, I don't care if Mark becomes Super Saiyan and Omni-Man comes back with Battle Beast. Well, like, you can barely defeat one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 or like that's crazy. I don't see how. I don't know where this is gonna go, man. Honestly, anywhere good.
Joe,
I
what
don't
do you
see
think?
anywhere good.
Man, shoot. I feel like, with Omni-Man, you'll probably get him or probably somebody else from Viltrumite to come down and like take over his post. But this next person's gonna come in and be just as vicious and just as straightforward as than Omni-Man. So I think that might happen.
Hold on. What about? Okay, I feel like we kind of like breezed over the whole backstory of Omni-Man and him telling us like the truth about it. I'm just trying to figure out like he was trying to like get this planet like submissive before they could enter the empire, but I feel like he didn't really do that. So I'm like, what was he waiting for to kind of reveal himself? I'm a little bit confused on that. Does anybody have any?
I think it was one of those things where he was supposed to come down and like soften the world up for that takeover, but then he started to discover humanity. He met Debbie, fell in love, married, had a son. Did all that stuff, and then
So do you really feel that do you feel that he enjoyed his life? Because some of the things that he was saying, like, she's like my pet. Like, oh my gosh.
That was like wow.
And just the thing, like, you're gonna live like the fact that he said that as we get older, we age less. That's madness. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, they live for so long, so obviously they're gonna outlive everybody, every single thing. He's like, you're gonna outlive the planet, type of thing,
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like, so how much did he really love them? I know they showed that one scene at the ending with the baseball and him like actually enjoying it, and Debbie said like they had some good writing there when Debbie said like how when they get older, you're not gonna have these moments, type of thing, But I'm just like, I don't know how much he really like loved Earth or enjoyed it. It was kind of like we don't get to see all the years that he was going through and and all the quirks and all the things that he didn't want. But I like at the beginning when he showed the baseball, when he was just putting his hands like, why do we gotta watch this nonsense? Like, I'm here to take over the Earth, and like this guy hitting a ball with a piece of stick or something. So I don't. That's why I'm just like, I'm torn. I don't know how he really felt. So when he was saying those things, in the moment, I was like, for sure, he don't like this planet, and it was definitely a cover-up.
There was another part where he was like, where I guess he was like trying to like get through the mark, and then he was just like, fine, like, I'm over it, and he just started beating up on Mark, and he's like, I could start another family, I could have another kid, like, I was like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, unbelievable. Like, man, like, just heartless, so heartless.
He had this one thing where when he was wailing on him on the mountain, he was like, do you have enough? How do you have enough? And Mark was like, what did Mark say? Mark said, I can't remember the exact words, but he was just like it almost felt like a Captain America, like, I can do this all day type of thing. Like, that's what I really felt that was going to come out of his mouth. And then his dad was like, I'm ready. Boom!
Man. So brutal.
The writing was so good, man. Honestly, just the dialogue was it was amazing.
Man.
Yeah. A lot of good dialogue, like absolutely crazy. Devin, you mentioned that, like, that whole thing about them like battling, because see, like, I'm trying to understand, like, so where does their weakness lie? Because we see Omni-Man take on all these things, and like he's like nothing scratches him, but then other times like he gets a little bit hurt, and then we see the backstory of like back on their home planet, it was like battle of the fittest, like, they killed a whole bunch of their race, and like only the strongest survived, and like those people, like, I guess, bred and had kids and whatnot. So do we, like, I'm trying to think, like, what is the plan here? Like, is it that they were sent out to go to planets and like have kids, like breed a kid and have that kid stay there? It's like,
I don't think
No,
so.
you don't think so? Okay,
I don't think
okay.
so. Because I don't think, they're living so long. I don't think I don't see that. I think that's where I'm just like, was he supposed to go there and immediately soften them up and get them ready? Did maybe I don't know, did he take too long? Was he taking a long time to soften them up? Maybe when he goes, if he
Yeah,
does go back to Viltrumite, they're gonna be like, yo, like you should have had this planet under your, under your
Yeah.
arm long time ago. Like what's taking you
yeah,
so long? I don't know that, But one of
yeah.
the parts when he oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. But he was wailing on him and he was like, what did he say? Ah! It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember, man.
Hold
No worries, no worries. So now like for me, I was thinking like, okay, like what's gonna happen now? Like I'm thinking like it's gonna be war. Like either he's gonna, like you said, Devin, he's likely not gonna go back to his home planet and tell them what happened, because then he gets reprimanded for that. But then he still has his mission, so he's gonna have to come back. So it's
I think
like,
when the
go
guy at
ahead.
the ending said
Yeah.
that they don't abandon their post, like
Yeah.
I felt I really like that will
Yeah.
stay with me. So I feel
Yeah.
like him and abandoning his post that's gonna be a problem for him. So that's why I don't feel like he's gonna go to Viltrumite, because he's just gonna be punished for that.
Yeah.
How I see this ending is that the whole galaxy is gonna have to fight them. You know what I mean? Like every battle beast, like I think that's one of the reasons why they showed at the ending the montage of all the different villains. They're
Yeah.
all gonna have to come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even that one guy at the ending who has the one eye, he's gonna have to. They're all gonna have to do that. But is that even enough? You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the thing. It's like imagine, okay, you have Omni-Man. Like even if let's say there's 5 of him, like that,
Yeah.
like that's insane. Like what? Then the whole thing is to me is like, what's gonna take this guy down? Like I for all the things and like the feats of strength and stuff that he's displayed, like there's obviously nothing, at least on Earth, anyways, that could that can stop him. Like nothing
You think
man-made can stop him.
you think Invincible will ever like? Do you think they'll have that like I can't remember the word, but do you think that he will eventually become like the strongest?
He
Like
has
the,
to.
the
Eventually,
Like
troll.
yeah.
You think so?
he
I don't see how it's possible. He's half human.
That's true, but there was a point where, and I can't remember if it was during this battle, like this episode or last episode, or maybe earlier on, but there was a part where Omni-Man explained to Mark that even though you were half human, your body and like the makeup of you is still like almost like 100%, close to 100% like Viltrumite.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think I don't, from what they've explained, it doesn't seem like, him being half human is gonna, have any negative effects. But
When you see the damage um Omni-Man did to him, and you see how he was in the hospital, that
yeah,
is just like how
Yeah.
like if you can survive a beating like that from Omni-Man, what really is their weakness? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
can
said,
anybody do that to Omni-Man? I don't
and
know. I don't know.
you know
But
what?
sorry, go Joe.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that that Alan, the alien that he encountered, will help
hmm
him figure out weaknesses to defeat Omni-Man, because
Yeah,
his
yeah.
race had gone up against the Viltrumites, and majority of them died except him. So I
And
figure
they said
he
that
might have
last
some
thing at the
intel.
ending. They said that last thing at the ending, like the fact that he left his post, that might be interesting. Maybe that could help us. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, maybe you're right with that in terms of like him going back and like they figure something out. But when he was God, it was you guys keep on making me forget my point, man.
Oh, hilarious. No worries, no worries. So, I mean, they obviously, with the ending of the episode, they kind of, with that conversation with Mark and Alan, he's kind of like, well, what are you going to do next? And it's like, and then they do like a montage of like showing all these different things that are happening. And, he's just like, hey, well, I just got to finish high school. But, we see a lot of interesting things, coming together. Like, Cecil's, has that guy making the like essentially building an army. Like that's one of the things where it was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
like you're not building this for nothing. like, you know, something's coming. Cecil's that guy who's always trying to prepare, right? So it was pretty cool to see that. But, you know, it also, Alan had mentioned that, you know, the coalition, I think it's Coalition of Planets. So the, you know, it seems like, you know, do you think we're gonna be, you know, mostly on Earth in the next season, or do you think we're gonna be like going on, like, you know, now we're going to the, you know, into the universe, like going into the cosmos?
You know what I'm thinking about at the ending, because I know I also said that I think that montage at the ending showing all the different villains and what they're doing and taking over different places and blah blah blah. That might foreshadow what they plan to do to Earth in terms of there's no more Omni-Man, right? So now it's like, it's like when Superman's not there, their criminals are coming out now. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we could deal with the Guardians of the Globe, like we could deal with Invincible, but Omni-Man is the problem. Omni-Man keeps us in our homes at night, you know. So that might be a thing where it's like these guys are like, Invincible's gonna have to try to figure out like how are we gonna defeat these guys because, we can't do it. You know what I mean?
Plus, the world has to prepare for Omni-Man because now the world knows that this guy's bad news. So the U.S. military, the new Guardians of the Globe, they all got to prepare for this threat. And the question is, how do we do that?
I want them. One thing that they haven't explained, I wonder if they will. I don't know. Maybe Joe has read some of this in the comics or whatnot. But they don't explain how people just have superpowers.
See, you know what? I still got to read more of that.
I want to know like what why. Like I understand Mark, right? His dad. But everybody else, like, how did they get it? Are more people gonna get it? I'm interested.
Well, there are like side comics that are based on like different characters. So I remember there's one based on like the Guardians of the Globe and one on Adam Eve, and then I forget the other ones. But I'm pretty sure there are like separate stories that will feature some of the origins of these characters. I think that's going to be what's going to happen during season 2. We'll get to know more of not only know more about Mark's story and the upcoming Doom, but like get to know about Adam Eve, Rexplode, and the rest of those people, and especially Robot, which there's more questions. I have more. Well, I don't know about you, but I got more questions about that character. Like,
what's his plan?
What's his end game? What's his plan? Like, can he be trusted? Why did he? I
actually feel like his end game, was to get a human body. You know what I mean? I don't know after that. I don't know if it's like he has something sinister. I think the whole thing was just to get a human body, and then obviously he can be able to control like robots and things like that. So I don't know if he has anything more. I haven't seen anything that would indicate that.
I don't know if you guys saw the news or heard, but I think it was announced either yesterday or earlier today. But I mean, I just came across it this morning that Invincible's been greenlighted for season 2 and season 3.
There we go.
Of course, come on, man.
Yeah.
Where do you guys rank? Where do you guys rank this with your superhero shows? Like, where would you put this?
That's a good question.
I know it's animated. But in terms of like excitement, you know what I'm saying? Like Joe, I mean, like me and Joe, I think we watch this week to week to week. Greg, I think you had to binge a couple of them.
Oh, but I binged the whole thing. Like I got up to date. Like I think when episode 6 came out, like I binged it. Like I watched the first episode and I was just like, oh yeah, I gotta watch all this. Like let me just watch this whole thing. Like the excitement level has been like just up there, like for the entire thing. I think probably the weakest episode to me was the episode where we get introduced to that crazy scientist guy who was like they go to that university. Like that was the weakest episode. Like it was still entertaining, but that was the weakest. Everything else is like always like on edge, like what's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna get through this? Like, they just really put it together. But where it ranks amongst like everything, so like anything like DC, Marvel, all that stuff.
I'm talking, how should we categorize this? But I want to talk about the excitement level from week to week. Like it for me.
Oh yeah.
For me, like any shows, let's just throw out the superhero
Any
genre,
show?
but I'm talking about
Okay,
any
okay.
shows week to week. This is better than Falcon and Winter Soldier for me. You know, it's better in terms of like the excitement that I was waiting for, like what is gonna happen, especially like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
definitely better than that. Better than Wanda, even though Wanda for me is a little bit higher than Falcon Winter Soldier because we hadn't gotten any Marvel in so long. I didn't care what it was about. I was just gonna watch it. I think it was like, I don't know, Greg. Do you remember when we finished watching Infinity War and it was just like everybody just the credits came down and everybody just looking at each other like, what the heck just happened? You know, it was so quiet. Nobody wanted to leave their seats. Everyone was just like, and then everyone just started talking in their seats and amongst just their friends and this theorizing type of thing, right? That is like how I felt with this. Like week to week was just like, man, when is the next one gonna come out? Like, what? How could you top that beating? Like, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like it's got to be like, I think Attack on Titan at times has me like that. Like, I can't wait. I just gotta watch. You know, it's got to be like top 3, top 4 like shows that really had me, and even movies where I'm just like, what is the next thing? You know, it was so good, man.
Yeah, no, I can't rank it like to, you know, amongst everything, but like definitely top 3, like definitely top 3. Like I very rarely have there been shows where it's like I'm physically like tightening up and like, oh my gosh, what is gonna happen? Like, man, like on edge. And like
I had a couple of times in Game of Thrones had me like that, where I'm just like, what the heck? Is especially with like Joffrey, you're just like, yo, you know what I mean?
Definitely got those Game of Thrones vibes with the show. Like at any time, anybody can die.
Yeah,
and to have that feeling is just like, it's so anxiety ridden. Like it's crazy.
No. But I like that. It's like roller coaster. Attack on Titans has that too at times when it's like, because Attack on Titans just be killing anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First episode,
right? But I think to me, why I'm so happy and why I'm so in love with this show is because they stuck the ending. You know what I mean? Like when we think about Game of Thrones, we think about WandaVision, we think about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like the last episode, it didn't live up to like what everything else was. You know what I'm saying?
And then it kind of just
even the Falcon and Winter Soldier wasn't as bad as like WandaVision or even Game of Thrones, but this one was just like, I can't ask for anything more. I just want a break. You know?
with this show, it was very like, even though we mentioned that week episode at the university, for me it was the 4th episode where they're on Mars. As far as like tone, storytelling, and everything else, it was consistent.
Yeah,
it was very
those 2
consistent.
episodes. Those 2 episodes probably the slowest, right?
The slowest, but then like the tone, the feel, like emotionally, that Invincible was consistent throughout each episode.
Character building, and then they just set us up for episode 5, right?
Exactly. And then like I don't know about you guys, but as I mentioned before, every episode I was afraid for Debbie and everybody else around Omniman. Like, what's this guy up to? He's gonna kill his boy. What's the name of the dude that makes the suit again?
Oh man, I can't remember that guy's name.
Markhamill plays. But anyway, there were times where I was afraid he was gonna zip in and kill him randomly, or kill Debbie because he's about to find out that he killed that she's about to find out that he killed the Guardians of the Globe, or he'll kill Cecil. Like,
you see, that whole Debbie thing makes me think that he did love her, because why wouldn't he have killed her? You know, maybe because he knew that would just completely destroy him and Mark's relationship. I don't know, but I too was just like, yo, what is he gonna do? And she was, to me, I'm like, do you not recognize that that's the strongest man in the galaxy? Why are you provoking him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you provoking him, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man, so crazy episode, crazy season. I mean, just all like overall, like really great, a masterful piece of work from the writing, the animation, the cast, the voice cast, like everybody, like just everything, like just the perfect pot of like everything good. So I mean, this obviously this episode was great. So I mean, overall, like, what would you give this series? How many fists would you give this series?
What? Seriously? That's a real question? Did you not hear what we were saying this whole thing?
Hey, we have to officially give our stamp. Officially give your stamp.
I would give it.
It's at least bare minimum 5 out of 5. Bare minimum 5 out of 5. I don't know if I can ask. I don't know if I can ask for anything more. Honestly, like, actually, I hope Attack on Titan's creators are watching this and just like, yo, we gotta one up them. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I'm waiting for that, and I hope it's just as good as these. Like, at least 6 out of 8 episodes were like, damn, like, just amazing,
Yeah. Joe, what about yourself?
Man, I'm giving this one 5 fists. I think I want to give it 6 fists if I can, but
seriously,
no, but 5. Like that,
5.
They knocked it out of the park with this one, man.
Yeah.
Big ups to like Robert Kirkman, because he's always done wicked stuff with like The Walking Dead, and shout out to the animation team, man. I know one team that was working on it. His name's John Lamb. Big ups to him. Him and the rest of the team were working on the storyboards and layouts for this cartoon, and it's just amazing, man. Hats off to everybody that worked on it, and I can't wait for seasons 2 and 3 and beyond.
Can you imagine anybody else being Omni-Man besides J.K. Simmons? Like,
oh no, now you can't. Now you can't.
I honestly didn't know if it was gonna work at the beginning. That's just not how I envisioned him being a superhero. But damn, it's
he
perfect.
nailed it.
It's just perfect.
Yeah,
dope voice actor and dope actor in general. Like,
dope actor, and like that's so awesome that he got to expand and do this. Like, that's
he's
really
pretty.
Cool.
He's pretty deezed in real life. Like, if they come real action, he's prepped. He's prepped for it.
They even I remember seeing one illustration that had John Hamm as Omni-Man, and he looked pretty good as Omni-Man too. You look it up.
Who's John Hamm? What is he in?
John Hamm.
Mad Men, yeah.
Mad Men and Baby Driver, So him as Omni-Man would be dope too. But J.K. Simmons is just crazy. From like J. Jonah Jameson to like Omni-Man.
That's good. I can't disagree with you guys. I gotta give it 5 fists out of 5. Like, no doubt, amazing series, really great. But my concern now is that they've raised the bar so high. Like, can they really do this again in season 2? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm scared. I'm doubtful because there's been many shows that come out. Like, even The Boys came out for a season, crazy story, everything, and season 2 kind of. It was a little bit weird.
What show has ever lived up to that? I just think that because they put the bar so high, and it's just different. Like, we've never seen this before. You know what I mean? So that shock value is like, you're not gonna get that again, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how they could do it. I don't know, honestly. Maybe Game of Thrones had some good seasons like that, but I don't know if there's been a show that has like the second season, let alone a movie. It's hard to do with anything, right?
The Mandalorian was pretty dope. Like, both seasons were pretty sick.
Yeah, Mandalorian was pretty cool too.
Mandalorian, and then like what's another show? Yeah, I think that's it. That's the only one I could think of. I was gonna say Game of Thrones, but they got to come up with the thing with this show, and even with The Walking Dead, it's like, how creative can you be with the deaths, and how creative can you be with just like the shock values, and I mean, like I think even Walking Dead, not as much now. But before it was like, when it was like the dead was the scary part, it was like the starting of the episode was like, how can we show a walker that just like you haven't seen before? So I feel like when he did the train thing, I was like, that is on a different level of horror, right?
Yeah. So like, if this were like some kind of PG show, like, he maybe would have like just taken the whole train and just like flipped it all over or something. And you just assume, obviously, that everyone on board has died. But no, they showed it all here, like going through every cab of the train, like absolutely crazy.
I couldn't imagine that. Like, even when he picked up his head, like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. Like, I just thought like the train would like smash and like flip over or something.
Yeah.
But like to go through it and then to use his head to just finish off everybody was just like, no, what's wrong?
And he's like, and he's coming face to face with everybody as he like from the train conductor and then like other people on the train, like he's looking them in the eye like that. That was just like wow, like just insane. Just so.
I think. Go, Joe. Sorry,
but one thing I'm worried about for season 2 is how the public's gonna see Invincible after that whole incident.
What do you mean?
Because he and his father were responsible for like killing millions of people. Even though it wasn't.
Well, I think he was trying to fight his father, you know, so they might see him as like, even though you were like, even what his mom said, like, I'm so proud of you because even though you couldn't win, you still stood up, type of thing, right? Yeah. And I think that's how they will see him. My thing is that I have this inkling that we're going to try to redeem Omniman. You know what I mean? Like the last battle when they got to fight the Viltrumites, Omniman might be fighting with Earth. You know what I mean? Against his own planet. And I'm just like, you need like seasons to redeem that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you need some time. Like, I don't even know like but the thing is that obviously it's not like when he comes to Earth, everyone's gonna be like saying anything negative towards him. They're just gonna be like terrified, right? It's not like they could do anything, right?
All right. So I mean, yeah, that's the show. I mean, amazing. We're looking forward to season 2. Well, tell us what you think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We are the Black Movie Fans. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Peace.